Explore Maui, offering a unique land and soul-based experience of Hawaii, focusing on natural wonders, ancestral knowledge, and the spirit of aloha. Enhance your understanding of the islands and its culture through our holistic educational approach. For a deeper dive into Hawaii's inner journey, check out our Hawaii Immersion course. Click the link below to buy the course and immerse yourself in the enchanting world of Hawaii. This comprehensive program will dive into Hawaiian language basics called Olelo Hawaii, history, mythology, and family-centered education content linked to place-based learning. With over 31 lessons available for self-paced learning, you'll also have access to 4 live weekly sessions aimed at initiating your Hawaiian language journey. Click the link below to start your Hawaii Immersion course. The main cause of the Lahaina fires were the colonial capitalism, the dementia that we have, that we're connected to a bigger picture other than just the anthropocentric view of humans. We're connected to this God-given design and the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven comes from that within, that integrity we have to know truth, to know our design, and to flow with the cosmic and the celestial realm and mimic that here on earth. And that's the story of the Gospels. That's the story of all indigenous texts and knowledge, is how we can read the stars, the skies, and we can also read our body. And our bodies are really a mirror image of our environment. And if we look at the mirror image of the environment today, we've really destroyed and took away a lot of it, what it means to be human. Our bodies don't look human. We're being mitigated by a lot of pesticides and chemicals. We have a lot of artificial technology, and our thinking is compartmentalized. It's not fully embodied by our sense organs or a holistic approach. We're stuck in our minds. And when we take that idea of how our bodies reflect our environment, looking at places like Maui and like Lahaina, the place represents and looks like devastation. It's because that's what we've done to our bodies, that's what's happening to the land. And I think it's just God's bigger picture of revealing and speaking to us that we've totally caused harm, damage, and corruption to our places. We are not good stewards. And the word steward here is to be able to have responsibility. And when we look at the responsibility, a lot of the responsibility for the people, especially who grow up in this kind of colonial capitalism, monopolies, and plantation mindset, is the power, the authority is external. It's given out to the Luna. It's giving out to the boss. It's giving out to whoever is in charge, but not the self. And that's the idea of radical responsibility, taking charge for yourself and coming back into embodiment, not just in the mental plane, but within your sense organs and your body tissues. So the damage is way more extensive than just the physical land itself. When we look at just environmental impact, it starts from the top of the mountain, the rivers going into the sea. We see that all of these things are so connected, just like the extent of our psyche, the damage in the psyche of humanity through colonial capitalism and environmental extraction. Take something like pesticides and chemicals. It wipes out our microbiome, just like in Lahaina, that whole town has been wiped out by materialism. And when you used to walk on Front Street, it's all materialistic goods, things that do not last, things that are propped up by foreign country, foreign money, and food that has very low vibrancy, So the extent of the damage in Lahaina is more than just the physical land itself, but in the psyche of people. It represented a time period of plantation politics, of old school rundown ideas. So it's not necessarily damage, but maybe more of a reset. And some measures we can take to control this in the future is re-education. Education that starts connecting people back to the source, connecting back people to the land, and connecting back people to their genealogy, their ancestry line. So when we forget our ancestry line, our lineage, where we come from, we keep on repeating the old colonial mistakes that happened when the Europeans left their state of origin and became in a state of dysregulation. A lot of these colonial capitalists and monopolies are in a state of dysregulation because they don't have a home, they don't have a space, they don't have a place. And coming from a family of immigrants, we all know how that feels to not have a place and a space. You go into unregulation, the fight, flight, freeze, the drama triangle. We can say a lot about the fight, flight, freeze, and drama triangle, but that is not a move towards strategy. So the move towards strategy here is we need to coach people on the steps they can take to come to know their identity, and also challenge the common norms and challenge what's in front of them to make differences to create a new paradigm. And creating a new paradigm really is looking back at your ancestry, genealogy, going back to the sacred scriptures, the sacred cosmos, and the inner witness, and create from that the inner self. And that goes back to the authority question. Who has authority? Well, how are local authorities working to prevent future fires in Lahaina? It's finding yourself as the authority. So if you're in Lahaina, if you're on Maui, if you're in Hawaii, and no matter where you are, finding yourself as the authority. And when you do that, you are able to see authority. Authority knows authority. Coming back into your design and yourself will be helping you to recognize what's happening or who is that authority, because it's going to be reflected within yourself. So community-led efforts to support and restore sustainability of Lahaina post-fires come from within. It starts knowing your tribe, starts knowing higher vibrational elements that can channel in something that's needed for true restoration and healing there, rather than artificial, such as the artificial intelligence ideas, where artificial intelligence, artificial lights, artificial electromagnetics are all going to continue to plague and root Hawaii Islands if we don't come into our authentic self. So the artificial ideas within education, governance, these things are just mining distractions for coming back into spirit-led guidance, being led by the spirit, being led by higher emotional vibrancy states. And that's what's going to connect us in this quantum matrix to the mind of God. So the role of technology right now is getting these kind of ideas out, of these organic, spiritual, high vibration ideas, using technology as much as possible, because when artificial intelligence takes over, they're going to be speaking a language we don't even understand, and it's going to cause a lot of harm and damage to our environment, to our psyche, and also to the next generations, to make a grid that is inclined for artificial intelligence, rather than this kind of heartfelt, centered navigation, trusting our intuition. So that's a big one. Trusting your intuition, the innate intelligence of the body, or the Holy Spirit, really needs that. So that's kind of the encouragement for Lahaina, those who have been affected by it, and what steps that are needed to be taken is first, take responsibility for yourself, and then be able to have this kind of dialogue with one another. These kind of collaborations with businesses, government, education, all start with the self. So coming into the deeper sense of the self for the Lahaina fires is important. One of the biggest lessons we can learn from the Lahaina fires that we can apply to different regions, industries, government, education, or even policy changes is that this man-made structure system is constantly going to fail you. It's constantly going to create victims. It's constantly going to create perpetrators. It's constantly going to create heroes, all in the illusion of keeping you contained and misaligned from God, from spirit, from nature, from creation, because creation is organic. It's bioorganic. It's this quantum matrix where everything is connected. If you look at man-made systems within education, government policies, it's all about creating problems so that they can monopolize the solutions. So creating problems to create and monopolize solutions all come with this idea of materialism, especially this idea of exchange, one for one. So the exchange of your life force energy for the empire. That this has been the story since the beginning of time, exchanging your human design for something like artificial gain, artificial buildings, artificial intelligence. And that is the grid the Bible talks about in Revelations, this false illusion, this hell in one sense that creates disconnection. Anytime there's disconnection from God, disconnection from land, disconnection from self, you can sure to be, it's because it's artificial. It's not God designed, but rather man-made. Man makes problems so that they can find their own solutions rather than coming into this quantum whole, the mind of God, which is our true identity. The true self is really connected to the spirit realm rather than the material realm. And the material realm, again, is the illusion of separation. So lessons we can learn from the fire really is say no. We need to learn to say no and stand with our answers as the community towards foreign corporations, towards those who think they have the best interests, but are disconnected from God, disconnected from land, and most of all, disconnected from themselves. It's the biggest lie, biggest illusion, the biggest control and manipulation that we hear propagated in the media. So individuals need to contribute to Lahaina by standing for Lahaina residents and encouraging them to be their true, authentic self. Look back at what your ancestors did, look back at what your genealogy, look back at your human design, and these efforts are going to make a everlasting effect in the eternal realm, in the eternal present, because the eternal present is far more real. It's far more absolute than this man-made structures. And we've seen that, this past few months, like the man-made structures did not stand. They did not last. But what's lasting is this resiliency and this freedom and this, most of all, love to conquer all of this trauma that's been caused by man-made institutions and centralization and fear and guilt and trauma. So moving forward from here, being able to take those ideas that we learned from Lahaina with all humility and respect as somebody from Maui is learn to know yourself first. It's a 101, know yourself. And from that knowing, you'll be able to recognize true authority and true being, and also how the God-given design of land, of the cosmos, and of the inner witness come into play into your life, so you can have a sustainable environment and atmosphere for your tribe, growing in your community rather than extracting out of dysregulation, fight, flight, or fear, but really coming into wholeness, into being, into oneness. As we wrap up our journey through Explore Maui, we hope you've experienced the true essence of Ohana and the island's spirit. This podcast has offered a unique perspective on Maui, focusing on both its natural wonders and timeless wisdom of aloha. Whether you're a homeschool family seeking real-world experience, a visitor looking to enrich your trip, or a long-time resident seeking fresh inspiration, Explore Maui has your go-to resource. Before we part ways, we have exciting news. Are you eager to dive deeper into the heart of Hawaii? Our upcoming Hawaii Immersion online course and webinars offer a unique opportunity to explore the profound depths of the Pacific Gem. Click the link below to discover about Hawaii's language, culture, and cosmic traditions as you've never seen them before.